Helping
think?
Hand?
Yeah. What do you think of that?
Sure. Sounds like a product, but
Well, it's a product, and
we're making a product.
the product is a film,
Yes.
and it's a twist on an old idea, which is that somebody gets a hand transplant, but it's a murderer's hand, and it makes them kill people. Right? That's an old idea. It's a hack idea, right?
Yeah.
So what if a murderer loses his hands,
And gets a priest hands?
or he
And
gets a yeah? Well, what I'm thinking is, so there's a murderer, and we have like an opening scene, which is this cop is pursuing this murderer through like a warehouse or something. Cop finally finds
This is
him.
how Chucky opens up.
To have a lot of movies open up. We're not trying to make something, we're not trying to break
Reinvent the
the
wheel.
mold. We're just trying to make something from the mold. Okay, so the cop finds our criminal, right? And he handcuffs him, but he puts the handcuffs on too tight, and he strangulates circulation to his hands.
Okay.
Okay, so obviously the murderer has to have his hands removed because the circulation's been cut off, and he sues the police department. Now, at the same time, the cops accidentally shot a really helpful man, like just the most popular man in the neighborhood. So to repay the murderer, they sew the hands of the helpful, kind man onto him.
The cop does?
Well, the cops donate the hands, and a doctor does. That's how the cops try to make it right. Like,
How about the name of the fundraiser is called Helping Hands?
Sure.
And they for some reason the chief makes one of like the cop who did it. He makes him do like an infomercial,
An infomercial?
like a spot
Why would you have to do a commercial for? Wait, why would you need a fundraiser?
for the raffle to raise money for the hand.
But they already have a hand because they killed the guy. They also killed a helpful guy.
What about the family? They're like, "Where's his hand?" Oh, you gave it to the guy who killed him. That's
Well,
great.
they're like a helpful, generous family too. Like, so they're okay with it.
Oh, they turned the other cheek.
Okay, well, if you want to, well, what?
No, I love it. I love it.
Okay, so
They're like,
this
listen, we are people of the Bible, and we believe that one hand washes the other. And in this
exactly,
case, we are going to give you a hand.
exactly
Oh, teacher will be the helping hand.
will be the helping hand. Okay, and obviously this arrest went down really badly. Like, so also the Miranda rights weren't read. The killer just gets out, and he's ready to kill again. But now he's
Wait,
got
I thought he was in the hospital.
he yeah, he was in the hospital, but you get out of the hospital eventually, and he doesn't
And
go to prison because the arrest.
oh
Uh,
yeah, because they didn't read him his Miranda hand.
yeah, technicality. So now we've got this
Okay,
murderer.
throughout the movie, we're going to use a lot of hand, uh, like sayings.
Oh yeah, we'll sprinkle it with hand puns. So he's out again. He's trying to kill.
Well, obviously, the first time he like breaks into the woman's house, and there's like a shower scene, and he's like sitting there all creeping on her. She doesn't know, and then she's doing her hair by the
Oh,
vanity, and he's creeping up behind her.
you disappeared for a second. What'd you
So
say?
did you. Anyway, um, so he's like creeping up behind her. She's brushing her hair, and she's like singing a little tune, like, and then he goes to he goes to strangle her, but then he's noticing one hand is not doing anything. So then he like backs off a little back into the shadows, and he grabs his good hand with the bad hand,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then he's like looking, like we see him like really confused and sweating, and then uh, um he um she oh she is now cutting her fingernails, and she accidentally cuts a little too much on she cuts herself, and she starts bleeding. And then he notices his hand is like going towards her, and we
Yeah.
think that he's going to strangle her, but he instead grabs a tissue and hands it to her.
Okay. Wait, she's in the shower though,
No, no,
right?
no. She's at the vanity. Remember, she's like doing her thing. She was
Okay.
brushing her hair, and then she started clipping her nails. And he was creeping up behind her to strangle her, but then his hand started freaking out, so he went back into the shadows. And
Yeah.
we see him like looking at the hand and sweating, not knowing what's going on with a confused look. And then she's clipping her fingernails, and she clips too much of her finger, and she starts bleeding.
Uh-huh.
And then he goes back. It looks like he's going to strangle her again with the good hand,
Yeah.
and instead it grabs a tissue and hands it to her.
Okay.
And then she sees it and she screams because she's not
Yeah.
supposed to be there. But the hand was trying to help her with the blood.
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Oh!" And he the good hand puts a puts no, the bad hand puts his goes over his mouth to stop him from screaming.
Mm-hmm.
And the good hand is just waving this tissue
Wait, why does he have a bad hand?
because he only lost one hand,
Okay, I'm sorry.
right?
No, I thought he lost both hands, and now he has just two good hands.
Oh, but wouldn't it be fun to have one bad hand?
I like that. I also, yes,
Okay.
and one bad hand would also be a good title, but really, what we're emphasizing is the good hand, so it doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Well, which one's the good hand in the Bible? The right hand or the left hand?
I don't think that the Bible,
Oh, lefties are shunned.
in the Bible.
Yeah, the right hands are good.
Okay.
The right hand never tells the left hand what the left hand has done to the right hand. Right?
What did the left hand do to the right hand?
I don't know. Anyway, so now he's covering his mouth with his bad hand,
Uh-huh.
which is his original hand.
Yeah.
And the good hand is waving the tissue around, trying to give it to her still. He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, oh, oh." And he's so confused. And so is she.
Yeah.
And so is she. And she screams. And then he's waving. And then eventually the bad hand just reaches out to her neck and just and breaks it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So.
And
so,
then and
yeah,
as
that's
he
a much, yeah.
and did someone just hand you a tissue? And then, as he breaks her neck, the bad hand it kind of like swings up. It drops a tissue, and it almost looks like it's looking at what just happened. And then it
So,
turns
like,
and
the
smacks
bad
him.
hand turns to face the good hand. Like, what are you doing here?
Well, no, the good hand turns to face the scene of the murder.
Yeah.
Because the left hand is the bad hand.
Yeah.
The right hand is his new good hand.
Okay.
So the right hand drops the tissue and looks at the girl who just got her neck snapped, and then it turns to him and smacks him.
It turns the bad hand smacks it.
No.
Him?
The bad hand is around the girl's neck, and it cracks it. It breaks her like whatever this thing is in the front. Her Eve's apple.
Uh-huh.
And then the bad hand, or the good hand, the right hand, still has the tissue that it was going to hand to her to help her with the cut.
Yeah.
But it drops it in a fury, in a state of panic, and it's almost like it's looking at what just happened.
Yeah.
Like the girl, and then it turns to him, the bad guy, and smacks him.
Smacks him in the face.
Yeah. Like,
yeah,
how dare you?
Like the hand just found out that it's attached to such a bad guy.
Yes, now it does. Now it's starting to realize.
Oh my gosh. So what if instead of following this guy, we actually follow the hand, the good hand, and like make that our protagonist? And like,
well, I thought it was kind of be a play on good and bad with the two hands. And like the guy carrying the hands is kind of like the sub character.
Yeah. So, but we're focusing on the hands, like
as
the same way we would focus on the protagonist and antagonist.
Yeah.
So, like at night, when like we see the good hand tossing and turning in the bed, because it's so and like getting up,
all sweaty,
and, like getting up on its fingers and like pacing back and forth, all nervous.
Yeah,
and like the good hand, the bad hand
down
is
his
like
pants. It's down his pants.
Yeah. And it's like yeah, that's good.
Yeah. And the good hand sees that and kind of like turns away.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. I love it.
Yeah. So where I was kind of going was that it was gonna like drive the killer crazy to have.
Oh, but look, just one more thing on that last
Yeah,
scene with the tossing and turning. We should flash to it dreaming, and it's dreaming of it being in the surgical room being cut off,
and
and that's when
attached
it.
to a good person.
Well, no, it's flashing back to what just happened because
Okay,
now
yeah,
now it's realizing its situation in this dream.
yeah, and it's missing its own old owner, and like if we
Yeah,
get like flashbacks
yeah,
from the hand's point of
yeah,
view
of
of
happy
him
times.
like barbecuing and like
Yeah,
tussling
touching.
his kid's head.
Yeah, touching his wife's face.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the hand starts sweating, and it looks like tears
Yeah.
running down his face.
Okay.
So I think that we have this crisis, and the bad hand is actually so okay. So we're going in a kind of a different direction. Instead of the good hand sabotaging everything that the criminal was gonna do, instead the good hand is now a party to all the bad things that the bad guy does because it's just one hand, and
Yeah. It can only do so much.
he's a whole guy with another hand.
Yeah.
So that hand realizes that it has to take control somehow.
Mhm.
So as to stop this monster that's attached to.
Mhm.
Um,
So then, well, the guy has to now get into some kind of like a dilemma.
well, the guy isn't the no the antagonist is the hand,
I know, but like it's like
and,
the
and,
guy
and
represents the real
our
world.
protagonist rather.
The guy represents the real world knocking at the door, you know.
How do you
So
mean?
like cuz we're in the world it's two hands, but this
Excuse me, I have
they're
a
still
cold.
attached to the guy, which he is a murderer. And he has to go do things and live life. So like as
Well,
he's like
I
going
got an
through the.
idea. I got an
Yes.
idea.
Go.
So he's killing people. He's going out killing people. And at nighttime, we're getting the good hand's thoughts about it because it's journaling. And we're learning that it's funny because like we give it a voice, like it has like an English voice, even though that wasn't the voice of the guy it comes from. It's like I had to sit there and bide my time while this monster
Yeah, we
ravaged the city.
we only hear the voice through the writings.
Yeah.
And
Um,
then, okay, do you have somewhere you're going with this?
well, so it comes up with a plan to take control. And the first thing it does is in its sleep, it it walks a hammer over to the other hand and smashes it. So
Yeah.
breaking the bad hand.
Well, the guy
Uh,
wakes up.
The guy wakes up, but he's been stapled down by the good hand. And
Well, okay.
okay, sorry, you go.
No, I was gonna say I like that. So he
Yeah.
wakes up from the bashing of the hand. He's
Yeah.
like, "What the fuck? What the fuck?"
And then the good hand pulls a gun out
No,
at him.
wait.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
hold on. Wait. Well, I was just gonna say it would be funny if he just funny. He's like kind of like washing his hand. He's like, and he bandages up. He's like, "What the fuck?" And he goes back into the room and he looks down and he sees the journal.
Mhm.
He's like, "What the fuck is this?" And he
Oh my
starts
god.
reading it
Yeah.
and he realizes that this is when he realizes
Oh,
that
and
the
it's called and the title of the journal is Diary of a Glad Hand.
okay, yes, okay, sure. Um, um, and then he's like, he's reading this. He's like, "What the fuck?" And then he starts looking at his hand, and then this is where he should get into the conflict with the hand. Like he's like debating, like, because the hand is now trying to like maybe get the gun and like try to like shoot him,
Yeah.
and then the bad hand is coming to his rescue, and he's like, this is like this great duel between the good and the bad hand,
Yeah.
and he's got to make the choice of to cut the hand off, which is himself. You know, it's like, do I inflict pain on myself or do I let it actually kill me? It's a very
Mm.
strange situation.
Okay.
So then he's like, I think he should get it the like into kitchen. He's fighting, you know, and he
This
gets
is
it
just
on the.
Evil Dead 2 that you're describing.
Oh my god, is that what these images are?
Yeah. So I like instead that he wakes up and that he is incapacitated in some way. That the good hand is going to take control.
That's
And
also
maybe
Evil Dead 2 when they staple him to the ground.
maybe that's a stretch. Um maybe it's through some kind of blackmail. He's broken the bad hand, and now maybe he has something on the. Oh, the good hand has been documenting images of the murder, and he has it set up
How?
with a little camera because he
He keeps under his thumb.
and he writes out like you'll never find out where these are being uploaded to.
Okay.
So
This
he's
guy
like,
is completely oblivious to what's going
so
on in the right
so
side of his
he's
body.
like, okay, well, what do I got to do for you not to tell on me? And he's like, well, we
But
start tomorrow.
well, he writes this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we cut to this killer engaging in all of this charitable behavior and like filling in potholes and doing all this good stuff for the community to the point where he gets the key to the city after this montage, right? So he hates this. This is
Yeah, because
we
they're taking pictures of him, and he's got this like look on his face, like,
all he's ever wanted to be was bad.
hmm.
Like all he's ever wanted to be was a killer, and now he's like the hero of the city. He's the most beloved man in the city
Yeah.
because of this hand, and he is fucking furious. So what he does is he sees a cop's gun in its holster. He can't grab it because his bad hand is broken.
And this is at the ceremony.
Yeah. So what he does is grabs it with his mouth and tries to shoot the good hand. But instead, a cop shoots him, but it goes through him and hits the corrupt mayor in the knee. Okay? Never mind. I don't know why. Oh, and maybe it hits him in the hand.
Okay. Well,
So,
yeah,
so
I
yeah,
assume.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. So now the bad guy's dead, right? And the mayor has been shot in the hand.
Oh,
He's
and
a
then he
very
meets,
evil, corrupt mayor, though.
and we know
So the
this already.
police have fucked up again, and the only way they can make it right is by donating the good hand. Now this evil mayor is possessed by the good hand, and we just cut to him like maniacally stamping approvals of like helpful programs for the community and stuff. And it's like he's like funding children's education or whatever. You know, you can make shit up, but it's like he's like crying because this isn't what he wants to do. He just wants to, I don't know, do something with that. That's where I'm thinking that it would go.
Well, it seems like that would be the end.
Yeah, I'm trying to wrap up so we can move on to the next one. But I want to wrap up in a way that we feel good about.
Um. Well, the mayor's a new character, so it's kind of like the end on this guy who we
Well,
don't
we would
really
have had
know.
to introduce the mayor earlier.
Yeah, because
I
he's
got
like
two
the one
more
who's.
ideas, so I want, and we only got 20 minutes left, so I want to wrap this up nicely.
Well, okay, I need help.
Well, I just gave you a whole ending.
Yeah, okay, the mayor. You got me into a corner here with the mayor.
Okay, all
Okay,
right. So
I want to bring the guy back somehow.
let's rewind. We're at he's receiving the key to the city. Take it from
Yeah,
there.
he's receiving the key to the city, and the bad hand grabs the gun.
The bad hand is broken. It's been shattered to pieces.
Oh, from the previous scene.
Yeah.
Um, well, maybe that's part of it. Maybe he like kind of grabs it all weird, and he's
Okay.
trying to go, like put the
Yeah.
gun under his
Don't
chin.
act things out
I'm
visually.
talking about what I'm doing, and he
Yeah.
puts the gun under his chin and like kind of uses his forearm.
All right.
But
So he
then
does it all
but
fucked
at the
up.
same time, he's like got the other hand is like wrapped towards his face, and he's getting smacked by it.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So
everyone's
it's
just like, "What is going on?" And
well, he's got a gun in his hand, so everyone like the
it's
police
kind
would
of
probably shoot
they're
him.
ducking, but also being like, "I'm kind of curious."
Oh yeah, well
Um,
he's the most beloved guy, so everyone's like, let's see what he does.
yeah, this has to end in good.
And
And
then one of them is like, don't you remember he was like a murderer?
like 3 scenes ago,
Yeah.
and um, and so he, well, the good hand has to do something miraculously beautiful. Um, the good hand,
Oh, a good hand probably sacrifices itself.
the good hand goes,
The good
yeah,
hand. So the bad hand aims the gun at a pregnant lady,
yeah,
like the
with a
worst thing you
stroller.
can do. And yeah, with a stroller with another child in
She's just
it.
like full of babies.
And the good hand looks at the gun, looks back and forth with its palm,
Yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah.
decides to finally, I'm going to sacrifice myself. Sticks its finger in the
Oh
barrel, like in
God,
like in
and it
cartoons.
blows up.
Blows the all three of them up.
The baby,
No, the two hands and the man.
the two hands and the man. Yeah.
Yeah, whenever I see a human being, I think of it as three entities: one man and two hands.
Yes. Um.
And finally, it ends with the detectives find the diary, and
Yes. Realize.
our final scene is them erecting a monument to the good hand.
Yeah. And it's two cops looking at it, being like, "Man, I can't believe we forgot about those murders."
Yeah. Okay, we have just a few minutes left. Next story, Turtle Boy. So a bullied boy sees a turtle protect himself from snakes and gets an idea. He builds a special shirt that acts like a turtle shell, where he could be punched and kicked, but he could pull his arms and legs inside and hide.
Hmm.
All right, you like that?
Sure, but what's the movie?
Well, this is the movie. So what's the movie? I got one sentence in. So this is great. He has completely changed his life because he used to go to school and get beat up every day. And now, like, he can just do whatever he wants. And whenever the bullies come to bother him, he just pulls his arms, legs, and hands into the shirt. And they have to just kind of walk away because they can't do anything to him. And then he could just get back to whatever he was doing. So, what used to be constant humiliation and frustration and pain is now just like a minor nuisance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, his life, this is like 15 minutes in, his life is so much better. Then he's back at the lake and he's looking at the turtles like with gratitude, like, wow, you really like taught me how to change my life. But then he sees a snapping turtle eating a snake and he goes, huh, I wonder. And then we cut to his shed and he's building this sharp beak to put over his face.
Yeah.
So then the next day he's at school, the bullies come. They start like they kick him, he pulls himself in. They're like, "Oh yeah, whatever. I forgot we can't hurt this kid." But before the bully walks away, he pops his head out and he's got the beak and he bites the boy's fucking ankle off.
The ankle bites the ankle off.
Well, he
The
bites the
bone.
ankle, separating the foot from the leg.
Wow.
Yeah. And he's fucking unstoppable now. Like they sent him to the principal's office. He bites the principal's finger off.
He just mutilated a child, and he gets sent to the principal.
Yeah. And they try to they try to send them to they try to arrest him, but and take the special shirt off, but they find when they lift up the fabric, he screwed the shirt into his flesh. So he is now bonded with his shell.
Highly infected.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the beak, the leather straps of the beak are sewn behind his ears, and he bites one of the cops' hands off. He
Yeah,
spits the gun.
because they go to try to remove it, and it comes down like a bear trap.
Yeah. Um Everybody is terrified of this kid. He has figured out that by becoming a snapping turtle, he is king of the town. He's completely unfuckwithable. Like,
Okay.
so you know what? Obviously, the cops would shoot him, or like
The military would come in.
someone would just hit him with a car. Like it's not that complicated. So we should keep this in the realm of kids, and he never gets caught. Like he bites the kid, takes a big chunk out of him, but it's not on school premises, right? So, but he becomes king of the school because everyone realizes you can't mess with Turtle Boy. He's got all his bases covered. All right.
Yeah.
But how do you beat a turtle?
Um, I think birds grab them and drop them from from high heights.
Okay, so what we're doing right now, where we're talking about how to beat the turtle, this will be a scene in the movie. All the
Yeah.
kids, because he's not just terrorizing the bullies now; he's become a bully.
Yeah.
So all the kids, the whole grade is like talking about like, how do we beat this bully? And they're like, could we tell the cops or our parents? And no one wants to be tattletales. One of them says, okay, well, exactly what you said. Like I've seen birds pick up turtles and drop them from really high, and
He's like another kid's like, well, I've seen turtles get killed by cars, and like, where are we gonna find a car that big?
yeah,
And
yeah,
they're like, the monster truck rally this weekend.
huh. But also, you can just kill a regular human with a car.
No, you have to run it over. Like the wheel has to run it over.
Excuse me. Um, I
Thanks
have a
for
cold.
doing that right in the mic.
Well, it adds color. Um,
Is it
well,
clear? Because I think clear snot is bad.
no,
No,
I'm sick.
really green.
Um, I think that what we could do.
The monster truck rally. Come on, this is gonna be great.
All right, bring it there. We only have a few minutes left.
Well, they realize they have to steal a truck from the monster truck rally,
Yeah.
and so they go the night of because it's tomorrow night.
Okay.
Well, it's that night.
Yeah, yeah. So
So
they go to the rally while it's happening.
yeah, but they have to sneak in the back because they're gonna
Okay.
steal one,
Yeah.
and then they have um uh they find the biggest one. It's called the Big Cockatoo.
Okay.
That's the name of the
Yeah.
truck. So it's like the driver's like out talking to like the girls who are like like oh, and he's distracted because he's signing autographs and shit.
Yeah.
And then the three kids that we obviously have gotten to know in this film. Wait, so we're on the bully sides now. This is
Yeah, well,
great.
it's not just the bullies. The bullies have teamed up with the rest of the grade to take out the
Yeah,
turtle
but
boy.
the three main bullies who were picking on him, we're now on their side and we're following them.
Yeah.
And now they're the ones that have broken in to stop this. And so
Yeah.
they got
Oh, because
they
yeah, of course. They're going to be the most effective at this.
yeah, so they climb up the big truck and they get in
Yeah.
and they like they start it and the guy's like what the fuck, and then they kid don't know how to drive it, so then they start like bashing and like hitting shit, and then they accidentally go out into the rally and they start just like destroying it. Everyone's like yeah, because they think
Yeah. Yeah.
Joe. But then they just like plow into the crowd and everyone scatters and they go out through the front door.
Okay. I like this.
And people are just like freaking like, "Ah, it's the greatest thing we've ever seen." That's what the
Yeah.
announcer's saying. And then now they're just driving, and now help me.
Okay, so I think that they pull up to the Turtle Boy's neighborhood. They see him walking around, king of the town. It's nighttime, but he's like snapping at people, and he starts running. So they're chasing him. He runs into the woods, but he runs between two trees, and the truck gets stuck, so they can't get him. He's sitting there laughing. He's standing near the pond laughing. There's turtles coming out all around him, almost like his minions.
Yeah.
And then they get out. They get out
Wait, the
of
big
the.
cock is stuck. That's it.
Well, hold on. They get out of the truck, and they're about to approach him, and one of them like holds the other bully back, and they're like, "Listen, stay back. He'll bite you." And then, but as he's stepping back, he accidentally kicks one of the regular turtles over and sees it helpless on its back, and he goes, "I got an idea." And he like signals to the other one who gets behind Turtle Boy
Oh,
and
they
like
do the
gets on all
classic.
fours behind him, and then he just runs at him and knocks him onto his back, and he's helpless.
Yeah.
So then they lift him up and they lay him flat on the water and push him off into the middle of the water. We then come by the next day. It's summer. He's waking up. He's dying of exposure. He's on his back floating in the middle of this big lake. And he goes, I was the turtle boy. Or what does he go? What does he say?
Well, I don't. I think there should be a better scene.
All right, do it
It's-
quick.
So they like the one kid is distracting him in front,
Yeah.
and it's like this whole big like scene, he's like saying all this stuff, and then Turtle Boy's just sitting there, and his jaw is cocking open,
Hmm.
it's like getting ready to clamp down, and he's just got this evil look in his eye, and he's like drooling, and he's like because he knows he's about to kill the bully with
Yeah.
his jaw, but he doesn't know that the other bully has been sneaking up behind him, and maybe it's two of them. They jump on his back of his shell, and then their plan is that he's gonna pull the clamped head thing that he built down towards his neck, like further down. And
Yeah.
as he's doing that, he's pulling, and Turtle Boy's trying to get him off, and he's pulling, he's trying to get him off, and he finally rips it out from the back of his skull where he like stapled it, where
Yeah.
he sewed it, and pulls it down to his shell, and then it clamps and and now it's far enough down that it closes on his head.
Okay. So he eats his own head?
Yeah, he eats his own head like turtles do.
No.
Isn't that what they do with their food?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Next story. We have just a few minutes. It's called The Pizza Man. Okay.
Turtle Boy, Pizza Man.
So it's pizza night with a son and his single mother. The single mother reminisces over the dead dad and cries over the pizza box. The son, wishing for his mom not to be so sad, wishes for a new man for her
You've been
for
wanting to say this for years.
for his mother. He wants a good stepdad. So, but with her tears while he's making this, was he puts so like on the pizza box, there's like a picture of like an Italian chef, like a little cartoon head. He does like a little heart with the tears over that. Okay, so that night he goes to bed, and while he's sleeping, he hears "Mamma Mia." And he goes, "What's that? What's that?" And he runs out into the dining room, and he sees the Italian chef from the pizza box crawling out of the pizza box. And take it from there. Obviously, he seduces the mother.
He deuces the mother?
He takes a big shit on her. He seduces her.
Oh. Yeah. He goes, "Oh, Mamma Mia, where's the lady of the house?"
Yeah, and he goes, "I'll show you." And he brings it to the mom,
And
and
she's in her pink nightgown.
yeah, and she goes, "Who are you?"
Curlers
And he
in the
goes,
hair.
"I'm with the pizza man."
And I've been in that box for too long.
And so they get to know each other. They fall in love. They become a family. The pizza man obviously opens up a pizzeria, and the family prospers.
The end.
This completely changes the situation of the family. They were broke, remember? I don't
Yes.
know if I said that. Of course, though, the pizza man can't all be just good, right? He can't just be a perfect stepfather and husband and pizza maker. It turns out that at night he kills and makes people into pizzas.
Yes.
We find out. Well, the boy finds out that his new stepfather is a murderer and a cannibal.
Yes.
Um, so he does some research. He goes to the library in Little Italy and learns about Italian American folklore. It turns out that the pizza man was an evil Italian magician who had his soul bound to the box by a good Italian magician.
Yes. Spell.
Yeah. So
Was Merlin Italian?
yes, it sounds Italian.
Yeah.
I don't think so. He definitely wasn't, in fact. He was English, but let's say he was Italian.
He came from Vinci.
What? No, he was from England. Merlin?
No, Merle?
Yeah. But whatever. Let's not worry about that. So the kid needs to stop the pizza man, and the only way to do it is to kill him using the ancestor of the wizard that initially bound him to the box. And I'm thinking that
And he's like,
ancestor.
you also need the garlic clove from a one-eyed widow.
But
And he's like, my mother. has 2 eyes, but I can do something about that.
And it says, but then he looks closer. It says that's optional. So I
Yeah.
was like, okay. Um, so he tracks down the ancestor of this wizard, who's a kid his age, an Italian American kid, who I'm imagining is like a Martin Scorsese type, who's like a documentary filmmaker, but he's got like a Martin Scorsese vibe to him,
Yeah.
and he agrees to kill the pizza man if he can make
Because
a
Martin
movie about it.
Scorsese. Okay, I was gonna say because Martin Scorsese is a famous documentary filmmaker.
Yeah, but this is just like a spoof of him.
Yes.
So he'll make the documentary if he'll kill the pizza man or bang the pizza man back to the box if
I'm
he
gonna
can make
bang you back in that box.
if he can make a
Why not just
documentary
do it
about it.
here?
So there's a big confrontation. A Scorsese kid is going to kill the pizza man, but the pizza man looks at the little boy and expresses real love for him. He's like, "Don't you remember the good times?" He's like, "Yeah, I kill people, but like I care deeply about you and your mother." And the kid calls it all off. He says, "Forget it. This is my dad." And the Scorsese kid's totally on board because this is a better movie to him.
Yeah, and he's filming this with his crew.
Yeah.
He goes, "I can. It's my papa."
So then we cut. Well, I assume the kid wasn't Italian.
No, but he's like saying this, and there's this heartfelt scene, and the cameraman's and the Scorsese guy's like to the cameraman, he's like, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Yes, there it is, and they all start crying.
Yeah. I love it. And then we cut to the documentary he's making.
Yeah. Now we're in the theater,
and we see how it wraps up. They're back in business. They're doing the pizza, and they're killing people and turning them into pizzas together because that's what a family does.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, of course, they get arrested at the premiere because they're murdering people.
And their families are out there with signs.
Yeah, and that's the final sign is them, like as a family, all smiling at each other, being walked to the police car.